and welcome to Mama Bird's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. We're gonna make a recipe today called Garlicky Chicken Fettuccine. It's quick, it's easy, it's delicious. Okay, I'm gonna give you the ingredient list. Super simple. Fettuccine, which is a flat pasta. I'm gonna show you what that looks like. It's just a flat spaghetti long. Feel free though to use spaghetti or penne or the little farfalle, the little bow ties, whatever you like. Whatever you have in your pantry, go for it. We're gonna use chicken thighs or chicken breasts. We're gonna cut them in pieces so it really doesn't matter. Then we're gonna have peas if you want. If you don't like peas, then sub in your favorite vegetable. Mushrooms, green beans. If you don't like vegetables, put some bacon on there. It's fine. All right, also we're gonna have a little bit of garlic chopped up. We're gonna have a little bit of cream. We're gonna have a whole stick of butter, so sorry about that, but everything is better with butter. I'm just saying. Okay, and what else? A little bit of cheese, and yeah, that's it. So simple, right? Let's get cooking. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fill up our pot with 2/3 of water, add a tablespoon of salt, because we wanna salt our water so our pasta has flavor to it. Okay, oh, the water is coming to a boil. We're gonna go ahead and cut up our chicken. As I mentioned before, you can have chicken breasts or chicken thighs, chicken tenders. What you wanna do, and I've already chopped some here, is you're just gonna take your chicken breast and you're gonna cut it into strips, like so. And be careful you don't cut yourself, okay? Always keep your fingers out of the way. And then we're just gonna cut them into kind of bite-sized pieces, just like that, okay? Super important, we wash our hands, especially when touching raw ingredients, any kind of meat. Okay, and then we're gonna salt and pepper the chicken. I already put some salt and pepper in a little bowl here. It's just about maybe a half a teaspoon of each. And then we're gonna go ahead and go over to the pan. I've got a tablespoon of butter in there, and we're just gonna turn that up to a medium-high heat and let that melt. And as soon as it's bubbly, we're gonna go ahead and add the chicken. All right, so our butter, see how that looks all like bubbly and lovely? It smells a little nutty and super yummy. We're gonna go ahead and put our chicken in, okay? And then of course this is going into the sink for later. And then we're just gonna kind of stir this around and we're gonna let it get brown. It's gonna take 3 to 5 minutes to do this part. So while it's sitting here cooking in the moment, we're gonna go ahead and go back to our cutting board and we're gonna chop up our garlic. Okay, so super important that you remember not to cross-contaminate your raw protein ingredients with your fresh produce ingredients. Especially if you're like making a fish dish and then making a vegetable dish, you wanna keep those separate. And then you always wanna sanitize your counters after you've been working with raw proteins. Any kind of fish, any kind of meat, just make sure you clean up so you keep yourself safe and your guests safe. All right, let's go back and check on our chicken. All right, see how it's turning white all around and still pink in the middle? That's fine. And kind of flip it over, it's brown on the one side, and that's perfect, that's exactly what we want. So we're gonna kind of toss these uncooked pieces over so they all get brown and cooked through. Nobody wants raw chicken for dinner. So we're gonna let that cook for a couple more minutes. Meanwhile, our water is boiling here. So we're gonna go ahead and toss in our pasta. And you can always break it in half if you want. I usually just put it in whole and stir it up. It'll get soft. We're gonna boil pasta. You always just read the ingredients on the package. It should boil for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay? Add the garlic to the chicken. We're gonna cook that down for about 2 minutes, just so we get that raw garlic taste out and it gets a little bit golden and caramelized. So after that cooks for a couple minutes, we're gonna add the rest of our butter, because remember everything is better with butter, and then our cream, and then we'll add our cheese and our peas if we're using them, and toss it all together in the pan and it'll be ready. How fast was that? It's nice and cooked through. A little bit of goldenness. We're gonna stick in the rest of our butter. That's 7 tablespoons because we just had 1 to begin with. And then we're gonna let that melt. Get a little spoon, give it a little stir. This is gonna make an awesome sauce. And don't worry about the butter, it's gonna soak into your pasta. You won't even notice it there. Well, maybe a little. All right, and then we're gonna take our cream, heavy whipping cream. It's a 1/2 cup. So we're gonna bring that in. We're gonna bring this to a boil, which will only take a second. And then once it gets to a boil, we're just gonna let it simmer for about 5 minutes, just so it gets a little bit thick. Simmering and boiling, and you have nothing to do. It's time to wash the dishes. All right, so look at this. This is looking amazing. Okay, it smells amazing as well, just saying. Our pasta's done. We're gonna drain the pasta. As soon as we're done draining it, we're gonna add our remaining cheese and then our peas, and we're gonna taste it for salt and pepper. Always wanna taste for salt and pepper. And then we're gonna mix it in with our pasta, and then we're gonna serve it up. All right, awesome. This looks amazing. So now we're gonna add our remaining cup of mozzarella cheese. The recipe technically calls for 1/3 of a cup. Feel free to knock yourself out and add more. And then we also have about 1/2 cup of peas. They were frozen. Again, remember, if you wanna add something different, sauteed mushrooms, frozen green beans, whatever you have on hand that you love, make it yours. Crushed red pepper flakes would really spice it up. Yeah. And then we're gonna taste it for some salt and pepper seasoning and see what we think here. It's always important to taste your food before you serve it to everybody. I have this whole little thing of tasting spoons, which I love. My son gave me these years ago for Christmas, and this is what I used to taste every day. It's good. Needs a little more salt though. So we're just gonna give it a sprinkle in. Yeah. All right, so we are all ready here, and I'm gonna get a better serving spoon here. All right, so I've already got my bowl of pasta here ready to go, and I'm gonna go ahead and ladle my chicken and my sauce on here. Does that look amazing? And look how fast that was, literally 20 minutes. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned something new. If you liked this recipe, check out my blog at mamabirdskitchen.com. And happy cooking!